Hello, and in this video I'm going to describe my favourite season, and in my answer I need to include when it is, what I do, and explain why I like it. Oh, to be perfectly honest, this is not something I've really thought about before, but if I had to choose my favourite season, then I guess it would be spring. Having said that though, there is something in every season that I could talk about. Anyway, getting back to spring, there are a variety of reasons why this season particularly appeals to me. Firstly, it comes after winter, which is a cold and bleak time. When it snows, it's amazing, and it brings out the child in me. But when it's just dark and dreary, then it's thoroughly miserable. So when the mornings get lighter, and the evenings likewise, I feel completely energised, and I feel like not only are the flowers and plants waking up, but also I am waking up after a long period of hibernation. A further reason why I love this time of year is that it is a new calendar year, and I start the year with New Year's resolutions. Admittedly, I don't always keep these, but it's great to feel motivated to do something. Last year my resolution was to work out more, and despite the fact that I didn't stick to it, I felt better for the first few weeks of the year. In terms of activities that I do at this time of year, well, as the weather is improving, I enjoy going for long leisurely walks in the countryside. Although it can be quite blustery, I love the feeling of the fresh air. After so many months of being stuck inside, it's great to be outdoors again. Another thing that I frequently do is spend time in my garden. There are loads of tasks to do, such as picking the weeds, planting bulbs, and making preparations for the summer. Summer can be hot and sticky, and I'm not a massive fan of the heat. But in late spring it's getting warmer, but the days are still mild and pleasant. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the vocabulary, words and phrases, good grammar in this answer. Now I've highlighted a very long part of the sentence here, and this is something you could use to introduce your answer when you're saying you haven't thought about it. But if I had to choose blah blah blah, whatever the topic is, then I guess it would be. And this is good grammar. Now I haven't highlighted it as grammatical range and accuracy because it is an organisational comment as well, but it is fantastic grammar to start. If I had to choose this, then I guess it would be this. And then, having said that though, and that's again very complex grammar, but a great organisation comment. It's like saying, although I've said that, I'm actually thinking there are other seasons that I really like as well. So it's a great phrase to learn, having said that though. And then because I'm gone on to talk about saying there are things in other seasons, I need to get back to the topic, and this is a great way to get back to your topic because sometimes we go off topic. Anyway, getting back to. We often say things like a number of reasons, make it more complex, a variety of reasons. And here, instead of saying there are a variety of reasons why I like this season, I've made it more complex, why this season particularly appeals to me. If something appeals to you, you like it. Bleak. This is when it's quite dark and grey and miserable. It brings out the child in me. That's like when you are doing something and you feel like you're a child again. It's like your inner child coming out. Dreary. I like this word, and it means it's really miserable and dark and grey and horrible. thoroughly miserable, meaning it's horrible, it's depressing. But by using words like thoroughly, extremely, incredibly, it makes your answer more complex. This likewise here. So instead of just saying when the mornings get lighter and the evenings get lighter, I'm saying the evenings likewise, and it means the evenings are doing the same thing. It's a word you can use instead of similarly. Useful phrase because you can use it in sport topics, you can use it in lots of different topics. To feel energized, it's something you do, an activity or you do something and you feel full of energy again. Hibernation is what animals do. They hibernate, or some animals like bears, they hibernate during the winter. And so this period of hibernation is like a long period of going to sleep. A further reason why, remember to think of your answer like an essay, so you need your organisation comments to give the framework, to give the structure to your answer. A calendar year, I could just say year, but I'm making it a little bit more complex. A calendar year is from 2017 to 2018. That's the calendar year. New Year's resolutions, these are something we do in the UK. I don't know if they do them in your country, but before January the 1st, some people say, right, I'm going to give up smoking, or I'm going to stop eating meat. And this is your New Year's resolution, something that you're going to maybe start doing, like do more exercise, or stop doing, like smoking. Admittedly, make sure you put these in your speaking test, these adverbs that just make it more interesting, more complex, instead of just saying things like and also. Admittedly, so I'm sort of saying to be honest. When we talk about New Year's resolutions, we talk about keeping them, to keep a New Year's resolution, and it means to stick to it. To feel motivated, this is like excited to do something. To work out, it's a good phrasal verb and it just means to do more exercise. Despite the fact that, this is probably something you all know but you forget to use it in writing or speaking. You can use this instead of although. And as I said before, to stick to a resolution means to continue doing it and not give it up. In terms of, very useful for writing and speaking when you're going to move on to another topic now. I'm sort of answering the question what I do at this time of year. So in terms of activities, remember to use continuous tenses, even if it's just a present continuous. The weather is improving. Long walks make it more complex. You can use this to talk about your hometown, cities, holidays. A leisurely walk. This is like a slow walk. You're not doing it to lose weight, but it's a nice, slow, pleasant walk. Blustery. If it's blustery, it's quite windy. Being stuck inside just means being in the house. You can't get out because of the weather. To be stuck inside. Outdoors, so outside in the fresh air. Tasks, another word for jobs. And these words are useful for the other topic that you might get in part 2, which is describe a park or garden. Picking the weeds. Weeds are things that grow. They're like plants, but we don't want them in our gardens. Planting bulbs. If you want to grow a flower, you need a bulb. Sticky. This is when it's really hot and uncomfortable. You could use this to describe your hometown if you come from a hot place. It's hot and sticky. I'm not a massive fan of. I don't like. Now, in terms of seasons, a bit like ages, we talk about early spring, mid-spring, late spring. Just like you can say in his early 20s, in his mid-20s, in his late 20s. A mild day, or when the weather is mild, means it's not too hot and it's not too cold. It's just very nice and comfortable and pleasant. Thanks for watching.